Hi there, this is Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and this is a bit of an addendum video to the last one. We were looking at a particular type of force from Annemann that shows up in various different ways, and what I've been trying to do is draw in a number of forces from the collection that have a similarity in their application or in their design. And we were looking at a particular kind, and I did mention this, but I didn't demonstrate it. So I thought about what I had available to me, and I decided to try to demonstrate this to you, just so you can see it in action. As before, we were using a glass. I've got a glass right here, so just a regular kind of drinking glass, and then a glass, and then I've got a deck of cards, and you would have the spectator shuffle the cards. You could do this in a parlor setting, and I'll explain why this is a little bit more doable for that than for like social media. And the great thing about this is that it ends absolutely clean. There ain't nothing to find at the end of this one. So you got the cards are shuffled, they are cut, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to take them in the state that they're in, and we're going to place them into the glass right here. So I'll place them into the glass just like that. And these are sitting aside in plain view. They can be seen by everybody. Everybody knows that the cards are there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have some kind of activity where in the end we reveal an identity, a card identity. And in this case, the demonstration will go such that we end up at the Queen of Hearts. That is the revelation. Okay, now, once we have that identity through whatever means, whatever story, whatever kind of prediction or whatever is there, once we have that, we can have the spectator take the cards out of the glass. They can go over, they can take the cards out of the glass, they take them out, set them down on the table, and then you can ask them to take a look at the top card from the deck that they shuffled. And they can do that, and you can see that it is indeed the Queen of Hearts. Perfect match. There's nothing to find here, and there's nothing to find here. This is a regular deck of cards. Everything is completely on the up and up. There's just nothing there. The benefit to doing this, as I discussed a little bit, I think I mentioned, is that this has a lot more ability in terms of seating and angles. You could more likely do this, at least according to Annemann, in a parlor setting or stage setting where you have an audience that is set back a little bit, and you could have this kind of in a live environment. The other ones that we looked at, with the exception of the mirror glass, really can't work that way, particularly the other glass force where we had the cards sitting at that perfect angle on the top. You would have to have the set such that all of the spectators would be in a very, very small margin of angle. With this one, you have more angles to play with if you have the right glass. This is a fluted glass. I had to search all over the house to find this. I knew we had a set like this. We obviously never used them because I didn't know where they were. I asked my wife about them, and she said, no, I think I got rid of those. Well, I looked in the china cabinet buried way in the back on the bottom. We still had a set. So I took these out. It's got kind of a pink rosy color to it. It's a pretty looking glass, just we don't have a use. We don't have any purpose. The glass has a fluting, a very deep diamond cut kind of pattern down on the bottom, and then it gradually dissipates to a flat rim at the top. Ideally, what you want is you want a glass that has fluting all the way up, that's quite deep, very regular like this is. It occurs with significant regularity, not a wide fluting cut, but a very narrow one. And it probably would be even better, Annemann doesn't talk about this, but from my experimentation with other glasses, probably better if it has a curved sort of pattern to it rather than a sharp one. But you want a regular pattern, you want it to be deep, you want it to go high, you want it probably to be curved, and then lastly, you want the glass to be wide enough to fit an entire deck of cards. Now, I had to use a bridge deck. I'll talk about that in a minute for this, because the glass just isn't wide enough to really pull this off with a regular card. I mean, I could put it in there and you can sort of hide it. We'll talk about hiding it in a minute. But I couldn't get a deck into this. There's no way I could put a regular deck of cards in there. It wouldn't fit. So I had to scour around and find a bridge deck. I don't get bridge decks. I don't keep them. I don't use them. But I did find this one still wrapped up. I took the wrapping off, took it out, and I looked at the box. This is from 25 years ago. I had not opened this up. I got this a long, long time ago. I took them out and I thought, man, they're not really nice to look at. This is music. I think it was like just a music gift, that someone gave me sometime long ago, as I'm a music person. But I thought, man, they look good for being 25 years old. They're on plastic. These are full plastic cards. They don't have a texture to them, so they can stick a little bit. But I might actually have to find a use for these, because these could stand up pretty well, like in a wallet or something, being plastic. But anyway, I found these and was able to demonstrate this. I just happened to have a bridge deck. I happen to have a glass that would work well enough for this. If you get the glass that matches the dimensions, and you probably could test this out at a store, probably an antique store, a secondhand store, or a place that specializes in dishes, you might be able to find something like this. I have looked everywhere for a glass of the right dimensions. I have been unable to find anything that really fits perfectly, worth getting. I was even at the Corning Museum of Glass. I live nearby there. I was there just a couple weeks ago, and I searched around in there, and I thought for sure I would find something. I couldn't find anything for sale that they were making that would kind of match Annemann's description. But a fluted glass gives you enough coverage to hide a card inside, standing up, and it's hidden perfectly inside the pattern. So if you don't know that it's there, you can't see it. I can see the refraction of my hand through the glass. I could probably even move this glass around to a certain degree, and it's an empty glass as far as anybody's concerned. Now, if I turn it at the top, you will start to see the card show up, but at the bottom, it's hidden quite well. The bottom edge of the fluting is still refracting the picture enough so that you can't really see that there's something in the glass. It just looks like a glare of some kind, especially if you have probably a dark back, maybe a solid back, and you could turn it slightly so that you're refracting just a little bit towards the back side of the card. And then people about 45 angle to 45 angle at the right distance in a parlor situation, they would not know that something is in there. You could pass something behind it. You can hold the glass. You can pick the glass up. You could move it on a table, and it would look like it is an empty glass, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. Then it's a simple matter of dropping the cards in, either so that the force card goes to the face or the force card goes to the back, and then you're free and clear after that. So a fluted glass hiding in plain sight, really, it's my favorite version of that kind of force that is in Annemann. I just haven't been able to find the right glass for it. I would love to find one somewhere. And I might even try to program that sometime if I ever happen to do a small show for people in a kind of a small environment, small venue. So anyway, yeah, wanted to show you that and at least demonstrate it so you can see what to look for and what the potential is for it. Hiding in plain sight inside of the right kind of glass. Very Victorian too, It's got the right aesthetic for parlor magic. It's that kind, I love this kind of stuff. Especially when it's an ordinary object. At the end when you take it out and people can see the glass, people can see the cards. There's just nothing, there's nothing there. There's no gimmicks. Everything is completely normal. I love stuff like that. So anyway, good luck with that. Happy magicking.